personally believe that life should be grand, not long, and that's what makes Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, a lovable and likable superhero, but it also makes him a force to be reckoned with. Yes, he may have a hard time fighting guys like Hulk, but the Thing is not just a big rock. He has powers that can put even the strongest of Marvel superheroes to shame. I mean, how often do you see one guy battling hordes of Marvel zombies and entire armies of Ultron bots and others? That too, daily, and across the entirety of a planet, simultaneously? But how did he manage to do that? Well, in this video, we will explore absolutely everything, like his immortality, physiology, battles with Hulk, what would happen if he was subjected to cosmic rays a second time, his Asgardian form, and more. Let's begin, shall we? Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
What kind of a thing am I?
How did Ben Grimm's body transform into rock-like skin? Ben Grimm has a background that's as rough and tough as his rock-like exterior. Born and raised in the mean neighborhood of Yancey Street, New York, Ben found himself taking over his brother's gang after his untimely demise. After some much-needed guidance from his wise uncle Jacob, Ben bid farewell to the gang life and set his sights on something more meaningful and productive. He packed up his muscles and football skills and scored a college scholarship to Empire State University. It was here that he crossed paths with two future genius scientists, Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom. Ben joined the Air Force and chased his dream of becoming a pilot. He even got to work with NASA for a while. However, destiny had other plans for him. Years later, fate reunited Ben with his old pal Reed Richards. Turns out, Ben had made a bold promise back in their college days. He swore that one day he would fly Reed's futuristic spaceship, and as luck would have it, Reed took him up on that promise. Alongside Reed, Sue Storm, and her fiery brother Johnny, Ben embarked on an unsanctioned mission. During their cosmic joyride, their starship was bombarded by intense cosmic rays. These cosmic rays triggered some serious mutations in our heroes, and let's just say that Ben got the short end of the stick, or rather, the rocky end. With his orange-colored skin, bulging muscles, and superhuman strength, Ben Grimm was transformed into the Thing. The poor guy wasn't exactly thrilled about his new appearance, but he decided to use his newfound powers for the greater good. Alongside Reed, Sue, and Johnny, he became part of the Fantastic Four. Ben adopted the name The Thing to match his gruff exterior. Does the Thing have bones? Beneath that boulder-like exterior lies his bones and soft tissue. Yep, Ben Grimm still has his skeletal structure intact. However, his rock-like exoskeleton provides the hefty support he needs to bear all that superhero weight. Think of it as a dinosaur hide on steroids. In fact, his initial depiction had his skin to resemble a dino hide, but that eventually changed to make him look rocky. And he's got just the right amount of flexibility around his face to keep things moving and functioning. It would seem rather weird if the Thing lost his bones entirely, mostly because he was very much a human with bones when he went through the cosmic storm. Having said that, it is possible that even his interiors went through quite a bit of change, and like his skin, even his bones become denser and more hardened. The 2005 Fantastic Four movie is to be partly blamed for telling us that his entire body, including his interior organs, muscles, and tissues, was turned to stone after the cosmic mishap, but that's clearly not true. Meanwhile, others like Reed lost their bones entirely. Reed becomes something of a dense liquid, while Johnny transforms into plasma when he goes all fiery, thereby giving up bones. But Susan Storm maintains her physiology and anatomy, well, more or less, because her body manages to bend light to render her invisible. But apart from that, there's no major change that she undergoes.
Did you just...
Does he bleed? What's under his stone face? The Thing has had at least 2 rocky rides that left him in a bit of a, well, soft spot. First, it all went down in Fantastic Four number 374 from 1993, when he found himself in a tussle with Wolverine. The adamantium-endowed X-Man never won to back down, unleashed his claws in a fit of anger, slashing right across poor Ben's face like he was buttering toast. Wolverine's claws sliced through the Thing's orange exterior like like a hot knife through, well, a rock. The top layer of stone was sheared off, leaving the Thing with a facial deformity that would haunt him for years. To protect his damaged face and hide his perceived flaws, the Thing donned a custom metal helmet during missions. Now, back in those days, the artistic stylings of comic books didn't exactly prioritize accurate physiology or intricate details, so the wounded section of Ben's face, despite being described as softer and pinker than orange, still resembled his stone layer. His next skirmish was with the Hulk. In Fantastic Four number 13, the Thing proved his strength, delivering a knockout punch that left the Hulk reeling. But before that happened, the Thing had to face a lot of pounding. One of Hulk's punches quite literally shattered his rocky exterior almost in the same place that Wolverine did in the previous comic. But we'll talk about this in greater detail in just a bit. Thanks to more advanced cosmic art, the wound here looks more grotesque, and there's blood and red flesh waiting to ooze out of the Thing's stony exterior.
Oh, no, 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 no.
What's the deal with his internal organs? The inner workings of Ben Grimm are something that even a non-specialist of the Marvel Universe would be pretty interested to know. I mean, how does blood flow inside his body to and from his organs? Are they as hard and dense as stone, or are they similar to our organs? One crucial aspect of his transformation is the remarkable density of his internal organs, a fact that is often overlooked or misunderstood. In the 2005 Fantastic Four film, they took creative liberties by depicting Grimm's internal organs as rocky in nature, but that's not necessarily how it's been portrayed in the comics. Throughout his comic book journey, the Thing has undergone significant transformations, both physically and internally. Initially standing at a more modest 6 feet tall and weighing around 500 pounds, he has since bulked up to an impressive 7 feet 1 inch and 1,200 pounds in modern depictions. Naturally, such an increase in size demands corresponding adjustments to his internal structures. To accommodate his massive form and the tremendous strain he endures as a superhero, Grimm's internal organs have experienced a remarkable increase in both size and density. This adaptation allows him to maintain optimal functionality and supports his extraordinary abilities. However, the exact composition and appearance of his internal organs have been subject to artistic interpretation over the years. While we may not have a precise blueprint of what lies beneath the Thing's rocky exterior, one thing is certain: his internal organs have evolved alongside his physical transformation. Does the Thing have any romantic relationships? Can he reproduce? Although he later married Alicia Masters in the comics, Ben Grimm's had quite a few romantic escapades, beginning with Miss Alan Chambers. She was his steady girlfriend during their time at Empire State University, and their relationship was rock solid, until Alan, an aspiring actress, abruptly ended things without a proper explanation, leaving Ben heartbroken and searching for answers. After years of personal growth and transformation as a member of the Fantastic Four, Ben's path crossed with Alan once again. However, their reunion was far from a fairy tale ending. Alan had suffered a stroke, which she had kept hidden from the public. Despite her efforts to regain mobility through physiotherapy, she still relied on a cane and faced partial paralysis in her face. In need of support and guidance, Alan reached out to Ben, prompting a heartfelt meeting between the two. The next in line is Dr. Linda McGill, the woman he was dating just before going off on that fateful or ill-fated cosmic trip. After his return, Linda couldn't handle his transformation quite well and freaked out. Of course, she left, only to return later, but this time around, Ben thought it was best if they both parted ways, and he sweetly rejected the crap out of the good doctor. But there's someone or something weirder with whom Ben fell in love with in The Thing, issue 12. In one of the arcs, The Thing encountered beautiful creation of his own subconscious called Terriana, crafted as the living embodiment of the Thing's ideal woman. Terriana caught his eye during a battle against a bad guy. As they fought side by side, the Thing and Terriana developed a mutual attraction, much to the chagrin of Terriana's jealous companion, Hanrak, who was also a figment of the Thing's imagination. Together they embarked on a journey filled with mysterious alien races, magical trickery, and unexpected adventures. While their bond grew stronger, the couple faced challenges orchestrated by the nefarious Grimm the Sorcerer, who sought to separate them. Through it all, Terriana Tariana proved her mettle, even recovering from injuries and facing her captor head-on. Tragically, their tale reached a bittersweet climax when Tariana sacrificed herself to save the Thing from the clutches of Grimm the Sorcerer. Later, he dated more beauties like Sharon Ventura, Kathleen O'Mara, and Deb Green. In fact, he even adopted a couple of kids with his wife Alicia. The Fantastic Four family got even more interesting with the addition of Ben Grimm's marriage to Alicia Masters and Reed Richards' marriage to Sue Storm, and thereby the arrival of two superpowered children, Franklin and Valeria Richards. Franklin, the reality-bending powerhouse, who has been part of the team since 1968, and Valeria, his younger sister with her own set of skills, brought a whole new level of excitement and chaos to Marvel's first family. But can the Thing have kids of his own? You'd think that would be rather improbable, but hold on. Ben and Alicia did have identical twins on Earth 9997. Growing up, once again, on Yancey Street, Chuck and Buzz Grimm idolized the daredevil antics of none other than the Daredevil himself. Later, the Grimm family packed their bags and relocated to Castle Doom in Latveria, and that's a story for another day.
Fire! I'll try.
What would happen if he is exposed to cosmic rays in his Thing form? He's had his fair share of cosmic mishaps, and one in particular really messed up his already rocky existence. In Fantastic Four number 310, Reed and Sue decided to take a breather from their superheroics to focus on their little tyke. They entrusted Ben with the reins of the Fantastic Four. Our heroic Orange Boulder recruited Crystal and Miss Marvel, aka Sharon Ventura, to fill the empty slots, and he even found love blossoming with Sharon, which I already mentioned a while ago. But fate had other plans. Another round of cosmic radiation exposure came knocking, and this time it didn't nudge Ben toward the human form, as one would expect. On the contrary, it turned him into an even gnarlier, spikier version of the Thing. Yes, he went from rocky but somewhat smooth to rockier and spikier than a cactus on steroids. Sure, the new exposure amped up his strength to mind-boggling levels, but it came at the cost of his already limited aesthetics. But of course, in the end, things eventually reverted to the previous state, and Ben resumed his good old rockiness.
Sorry, Ben. He's too strong.
Does he have more strength than Hulk? The Thing and the Hulk have been trading blows for ages, creating classic moments, beating each other to the pulp. And if such a fight takes a live-action form, the hearts of fans all over the world would skip a beat. From their initial face-off in Fantastic Four number 12 to the epic showdown in issues number 25 and number 26, these brawls have somewhat become the source of nostalgia for comic book fans. But let's face it, determining a clear winner between these two monstrous powerhouses is like trying to choose who lives between Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Some fights ended in stalemates, while others were interrupted before a true victor emerged. Having said that, the Thing scored a win, but only because the Hulk was practically running on fumes, while Ben received a power boost. Not exactly a fair fight. The general consensus though, while Ben Grimm claims the title for having the most heart, and yeah, willpower, but in their latest clash, Ben found himself outmatched for most of the fight. But just when the Thing was about to give up, Alicia rushed to his side with a pep talk for the ages. Inspired by Alicia's words, he mustered the strength to rise once more. He threw one decisive punch at Hulk, and the impact was so intense that it filled an entire 2-page spread. Can you imagine the raw power and impact that a single blow carried? Naturally, Ben's rocky exterior shattered, and he howled in pain, but the punch knocked the Hulk out cold. Now that's a fair fight. When it comes to superhuman abilities, the Thing is much more than his name suggests. His primary power is his extraordinary strength, which has gone through some serious upgrades over the years. From a class 5 rating to a mind-boggling class 100, Ben has shown feats like stopping a falling building, lifting an oil rig, and even overpowering Namor underwater. But even with all that strength, he couldn't withstand a slash from Wolverine's adamantium claws. That feels a bit out there, but I suppose comics have an issue with continuity as far as powers are concerned. I mean, not all writers have read the work of all other writers. It should be the case, but unfortunately, it isn't. How does he transform into a giant wall? Ben Grimm's ultimate form takes things to a whole new level, and it quite literally levels the playing field with an unimaginable upgrade. The story arc titled Siege, Battle World, takes place on a planet called, well, Battle World, which is ruled by Dr. Doom. Battle World is split by a massive wall called the Shield, separating humanity from a host of villainous creatures like Annihilus's goons, Marvel zombies, and an army of Ultron bots. That's one side, and on the other side lives humanity. We know that while the Hulk may usually hold the title for brute strength, the Thing is renowned for his unwavering determination and willingness to endure any punishment to save others. He is convinced by God Emperor Doom to sacrifice himself and merge with the Shield, becoming the wall's very essence and aiding in its impenetrable defense. Ben knows the cost, but agrees anyway to do whatever it takes to protect the innocent people on Battle World. But the comic has to go on, the story has to evolve, and the bad guy has to meet his fate one way or another. So, in a twist of fate, Thanos, of all people, reveals that his Battle World wasn't some benevolent creation by Doom to save humanity. On the contrary, Doom is the mastermind behind all the chaos and misery that's gone down on this peculiar planet. When the Thing learns the stone-cold truth, he breaks free from his cemented prison and undergoes a monstrous transformation, becoming what can only be described as a hulking kaiju. Furthermore, he feels cheated and fooled, filled up to the brim with torment and fueled by vengeful rage. He launches an assault on Doom's fortress, ready to give the godlike dictator a taste of his own medicine. So, you understand what the Thing had to go through as the Shield wall, right? Every single day brought a new onslaught of enemies pounding on the Shield, a literal army of Annihilus's creations, legions of Ultron robots, and even a horde of superpowered zombies. But they never succeeded in breaching the wall, and only managed to bounce off like rubber ducks hitting a brick wall. I suppose Hulk himself would be green with envy. How does his indomitable spirit and willpower help him? Willpower is not entirely a superpower in the Marvel Universe. I mean, they don't really have someone like a Green Lantern whose willpower is all it takes to beat the bad guys to a pulp. However, it still makes a difference in the Marvel Universe. Take heroes like Spider-Man and Captain America, for instance. These guys have willpower so strong that it allows them to push through their injuries that would send other heroes running away. They consistently defy the limits of their own powers by simply not giving up. You remember when Cap said he could do it all day? Well, he really meant it. Or when the little kid's Atom remained standing tall while Zeus fell in real steel? God, I love that movie. Anyway, so the Thing's willpower is off the charts. When it comes to physical battles, even opponents who could easily overpower him have thrown in the towel because they've realized that no matter how much they pummel him, he will never, ever give up. They could either lose to him or maybe murder him, but he will not give up. In the comic Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 7, the Thing finds himself in a boxing match against the champion of the universe. Now, you can probably guess where this is going. The champion proceeds to unleash an absolute beatdown on the Fantastic Four member, all while reminding him that he's holding back and not even using a fraction of his true power. Despite being completely outmatched in terms of raw strength and skill, Thing refuses to forfeit. The champion, realizing that he can't break the Thing's spirit no matter how hard he tries, figures out that he only has two options: either murder the poor guy or admit defeat. He chooses defeat. So the champion of the universe may have a cocky name, but he has a good heart. When the Thing became an Asgardian monstrosity called Breaker of Souls, the Thing once became angrier Breaker of Souls during the Fear Itself crossover event. So in this story, Scotty or Sin, the daughter of Red Hulk, unleashed Serpent, the elder brother of Odin. Yes, the same one. Serpent then summoned the Hammers of the Worthy to Earth, and one of them fell on Yancey Street. Now, whenever there's an Asgardian shenanigan, there's trouble brewing. The hammer found itself in the Thing's hand, and it granted him a one-way ticket to a seriously dark and monstrous transformation. Under the influence of Jormungandr, the world serpent, he became angrier, the breaker of souls. Of course, his entire body transformed once again, making him black from orange. Reminds me of the show Orange is the New Black. Anyway, this powerhouse of destruction laid waste on Yancey Street and wreaked havoc on anyone unfortunate enough to cross his path. He even managed to go toe-to-toe with Red Hulk and defeated him with ease. He then treated the Avengers Tower like it was a house of cards. Ultimately, it was Thor who stuck Mjolnir into Angrier, ending his streak of havoc.
Ah, crap.
Is he immortal? Ben Grimm's cannot really age, he's beyond all that. But that changes when the Future Foundation, a group of young scientists under the watchful eye of the Fantastic Four, create a serum that allows Ben the chance to transform into his human form for a single day each year. But of course, there's a catch. You see, this serum not only allows Ben to savor the simple pleasures of being human, but it's also the only time he ages. While the rest of us age each day, this guy ages one day a year. That's a bit unfair, wouldn't you say? In Fantastic Four number 605, Reed Richards journeys tens of centuries into the future. Here, he discovers that the original Fantastic Four are revered as true legends and icons. The future team lineup includes an adult Franklin Richards alongside a new Human Torch and Spider-Woman. By now, Ben has got a rocky new beard and a trusty cane, but other than that, he's pretty much the same. It's during this time that the weight of old age finally catches up with the Thing between the years 5012 and 6012 AD. Ben leaves this mortal plane, and with him, another Uncle Ben leaves his nephew. Or so Franklin probably feels. What is his weakness? Superman and Kryptonite, Namor and pollution, Invisible Woman and dust, and the Human Torch and overheating. These are a few of the matches made in the world of superheroes. Of course, every superhero needs a weakness, or else they just not make sense. But for the Thing, his strength is somewhat his weakness. You see, Ben's sheer size, weight, and super strength make it a bit tricky for him to handle regular, everyday appliances. Imagine trying to use a smartphone or type on a regular-sized keyboard when you've got the hands the size of boulders. It's not exactly a walk in the park. I guess even that would be difficult without having a few eyebrows raised and a few kids screaming. And to add insult to injury, his powers have even robbed him of the sense of touch. So no more gentle caresses or, but then he doesn't do anything under the sheets, be it with himself or someone else. And that's not all. The Thing is part of a team. The Fantastic Four and their powers are all interconnected. In fact, they are pretty much Marvel's first ever family. So the original members of the Fantastic Four act as conduits for each other's powers, feeding off one another's abilities. Naturally, if they spend too much time separated in other universes, their power levels start to decline. And if they spend enough time apart, they can become completely powerless.
That's not gonna be a problem!
Marvelous verdict. So, you see, Ben Grimm is a lot of things, but none of these things is being a quitter. He can throw a punch and take punches all day long, and although it would seem that these abilities come to him through his transformation into a giant rock, it's his spirit that keeps him going. I believe that's what makes anyone a hero, and that's what makes people successful. Well, that became a bit philosophical and preachy, I suppose, but let me know what you think is the indispensable quality of a superhero. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.